Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Bar Run Forge. See, Troy is running the pre-show twice. Yep. Welcome back everybody. Great to have you in here. It is indeed Thursday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're here with just Troy tonight. I'm the Lone Ranger this evening. Eli is at a work thing, so all me, and we are here. I know you guys are talking about all the heat and everything. It is a hot one here. I don't know what the temperature is. I don't care. It's hot. So I have the fan blowing on me here. There's a fan over there. I may turn it yet. The air conditioner is turned down in here. Yes, air conditioner in here. You guys know that. I'm going to turn this fan just a little bit more. So it's here when I'm... Yep, that's better. So, we're going to give it a shot tonight. Probably won't be a long one. I've been working on tractors and a bunch of other stuff. So we'll begin by doing what we do every week, saying hello to everybody. We're going to start at the top with Daniel Baca at D. Baca Maker, Corey Shire at High Desert Forge and Iron Works, Mr. Robert Lonis, the Treadle Shed. Hey, Bobby, how are you? Kyle Jones talking about that dry heat up there in Maine. Been some hot stuff for them for sure. Curtis Ellerhorst. Curtis, you need to get in touch with us, man. My personal cell phone is on our website and everything like that. Get a hold of me there, Curtis, if you would, so we can connect on getting everything to you and coming over and see us. We definitely want to have you over here. Kenny at Metal Man. Hello, Kenny. Good to have you in here. Gray Wolf Outdoors Homestead, 67 degrees here in upstate New York. Good for you. Mr. Jeff Woodring. Not sure if we have a Jeff Killian in here or not. We like to keep all the Jeffs we can present. So it's great to have everybody in here. If I have not said your name already, please say something in the chat so I can keep up. Always a challenge when you're trying to forge and chat and try to take care of everything. But I think we got everything set. Hopefully everything sounds good. Mr. Brittinghammer Forge, great to have you in here. And Mr. Bill Corey got in here before 7 o'clock. Early nap? What's going on? Hi, Bill. Great to have you, brother. Yeah, our heat index is probably down today, but the sun was pretty well just beating down on us. No one likes to show off. That's right. Jeff Killian says, I am not here. Okay, Jeff. We wish you were here. All right. So, Eric at Pumpkin Patch, Forge and Iron Works. Great to have you in here, brother. We did get nearly everything out from the 5K giveaway. If you are someone who won something and didn't get it already, hello, Mr. Thomas Goodymoot. Howdy, all my humans and aliens. Not sure where I fit, but hello anyway, Thomas. Good to see you. The goodiest of moots. That's Thomas Goodymoot. And so if you have not received your 5K giveaway item, either we don't have your information or something along that line, if anyone is talking to Mr. Crawford, have Mr. Crawford get a hold of us. I've got his thing ready to go, but I don't have an address for him. So I think that's about it. I think there might be one more T-shirt that needs to go out. But other than that, I think we're pretty well set. No, you didn't get anything, Bill. I'm sorry. You need Bobby's address. Well, Bobby's right there. Bobby and Kyle, get in touch with each other. If you have won something from Kyle Jones or Bobby Lonis, get in touch with them. They'll send it directly to you. And I think Thomas Goodymoot as well. Thomas sent us some stuff or had some stuff to send as well. But I didn't win anything. I know, Bill. I know, Bill. All right, so anyway, we got most everything out. There's Mr. Wayne Heights. Great to have you in here. I am doing well, and things are pretty good. I'll go over that in just a second. We'll look at what we forged last week and kind of in the week around that. I don't know. I don't think Mr. Bill got anything. So this is that kind of monster round punch that we worked on. Got our touch mark. great big old round punch out of this coil spring. All these tools are going to the Ohio Valley Antique Machinery Show. Those are going in the toolbox that will stay at the show. So we got some coil spring from a friend, big heavy coil spring, and we just decided that's the thing we're going to do. So we're trying to get to where we don't have to take a bunch of our tools to the show, that we have the majority of the tools that we need at the show. Now, we'll take a look at everything, and there's still probably stuff that we'll take, but we want them to have a set of tools there so they can work. Our goal at the shop is to have kind of open forgings, or we can use the shop on a regular basis. So these kinds of tools need to be there. I've got another piece of coil spring in there. The thing I'm going to make tonight is a heavy slot punch, and the majority of the reason for that, so if we want to do some joinery, we can do a big thick slot punch and some heavy stuff. Sometimes they require that of us at the show because it's an antique machinery show, and we've often done repair on, gosh, sickle mowers to thrashing machines, steam engines. We've had the guys from the steam tractors and boilers and stuff like that come to us and say, hey, can you fix this thing? Can you make this thing? We've made parts at the show for steam tractors, which I think is just awesome, man, just to be able to do that. And it really is reminiscent of the way things worked way back then. So we're going to try to make enough tools where we can have on hand to do those kinds of things. There's Bobby, Mr. Dogbone Knives. Oh boy, what did me win? Me won. Hi, everyone. That your package originated in Dallas, Texas? I'm going to say no on that, Daniel. Just going to say no. So anyway, there's that. And a couple weeks ago or sometime, we started in on our scrap bucket challenge. And so I started this scroll-ish, and then made the bracket with a split scroll and an upset end, and we made a little spindle hook right here. So if you wanted to hang a hanging basket or even a sign or something like that, that piece is all done. And it's got our touch mark, got the holes in it. I went ahead and flattened up some lag bolts so that can be done that way. So that item is done. The punch is done. We're trying to make doubles of all the punches and chisels because that particular setup is kind of cool. And we'll show you in a few weeks when we're there at the show, the first weekend in August. And we had two vices, two leg vices. And they were bolted up against this raggedy wood table, and you couldn't do anything with them. They were in a terrible spot. So we finally got where we could move some of they had a line shaft in there, and it was totally in the way. It was unsafe, and we were given the opportunity to move some of that stuff. So what we did is we set up like stations to one side and stations to the other side, and then I made this post that was anchored to the concrete in there, and made it to where you could put two leg vices on either side, had rooms for hammers and tongs and things like that. So it had a tool rack on either side. It has the two vices on either side. And so what you can do now, it's dead center, kind of in the middle of all that. The forgers are kind of behind, and then you could put up to 4 to 6 anvils and stations either side of that. So the good thing about that is, two smiths can be working at the vices at the same time. And so we wanted to be able to have punches and chisels in duplicate. So if somebody is trying to slot punch something and they go, oh crap, there's not a slot punch around, there's another one. So we're trying to keep doubles of tools. Hopefully we can keep them organized and to the point where they belong to the machinery show and they don't find their way away. That's the hope. So tonight I'm going to make a slot punch. Again, I'm kind of overbuilding or oversizing this stuff, at least as far as the handles and the durability of these things, because we do have, we'll say, inexperienced smiths quite often come in, and we do quite often allow people who've never done anything like that before to come in and swing the hammer for the first time. Just like me, I was the guy who just walked in there and said, "Hey, is it okay if I come in and watch?" And I watched for a little bit, and the guy said, "Well, are you going to swing the hammer or not?" So I got my start because they opened up the shop, and we want to do the very same thing. We try to do it in a safe manner. We try to get all the tools in the right position. So, yeah, that's the goal of that. So I've got a piece of that coil spring in there. I'm going to forge for a little bit. Reason why I'm doing that tonight, again, it's hot. I've kind of had a long day. We've had doctor's appointments, and I've had other stuff to try to get done. I've been up in the attic of the house. That's hot. I've been outside working on getting the tractors ready for sale. We're selling all of our equipment and all our tractors and everything. So not absolutely everything, but nearly everything. So getting all that stuff ready to go. Been a busy time. I'm trying to get all that done before I have the surgery on July 9th, because I'm being told I'll have 2 to 3 weeks where I can't lift over 5 pounds. That is going to be a challenge. So I'm trying to get as much of that stuff done now, so during that 2 weeks I can kind of do the easier stuff and kind of chill out for a little bit. Well, you shouldn't, Wayne, because you're one of the greats, buddy. You are one of the greats. So I'm still going to be, for those who don't know, I'm getting ready to have surgery on my nose and my left wrist and my right forearm for some skin cancer. I've had some melanoma, and so they're having to go cut deeper and try to ensure that it doesn't spread into my lymph nodes, so we don't have an issue with that. So the surgery really needs to happen, and I'm going to protect it as best I can. So, how about enough yak, more whack? As I said, we're going to do a slot punch, and as I generally do, I try to work on the struck end first, try to get an idea how I want that to look. So we'll do that, and after we do the struck end, then I'll actually flatten a little bit, because I like to index that. I like to index, know where my hand is, and then I have a plane at which I can work to make that slot punch. Gray Wolf, I'll be with you in just a second. Let me run this heat here, and then we will do that for sure. Okay, just the initial. You know what? I'm going to use that end for the strut for the working end. So let me get that back in there. It's already got a bit of a bevel, and I want to try to stay away from fish mouthing. So while we're doing that, let me read up here what they have to say. I wonder if your family could get prayers. My wife is 48, has had 4 strokes starting when she was a baby. Well, Sunday, we had to rush her to the hospital, stroke number 5. All right, well, guys, we're going to stop. We're just going to flat out stop. And we're just going to pray. If you guys could, give us her name and your name as well, because we want to pray for you, for sure. That means long sleeve shirts and white hats from now on. It's pretty much the case. I've started purchasing, while he's telling us about that, I've started purchasing a lot of those UV shirts with the long sleeve. They're still light, and so I've purchased a lot of those. I've gotten I've got bigger hats, and I really ain't paying attention to my exposure out in the sun. I'm putting sunscreen on quite often and reapplying. So I am making those changes. Okay, so I'm Pastor Skip, and her name is Chrissy. All right, so we're going to pray for Skip and his bride, Chrissy, and to pray that the doctors can get done what needs to get done, and that God will give them the peace that passes all understanding. So let's pray. Father, we do thank you. Lord, although the heat is out there, it is a hot day, but Lord, it is a day that you've made. It's a day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, even when things go bad, when things don't go as we have planned, um, and the unexpected or sometimes even the expected happens, Lord, we know that you are there. You never leave us. You never forsake us. Lord, I pray for Chrissy right now. I pray that you would give her that peace that passes all understanding. I pray that you would heal her. I pray that you would give her the strength that she needs. And I pray, Father, that you would allow Skip to minister to her, not just as a husband, Father, but as a caregiver and as a brother in Christ. And pray, Father, that that would bring another level of peace to her as well and healing. Lord, we praise you for the opportunity to come to you. What a blessing it is. And we just pray the rest of our time will be all to your glory. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. All right, brother. Lifting you guys up. Lifting you guys up for sure. Okay, so we are getting into, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put that glove on my arm for now. We're getting into the struck end, and I think I've got another project here. If we get done, I got a little pep left in my step. I've got another little project that I wanted to kind of take on, so let's give that a go. Kirby and his dad passed away last week. Okay, keep me on that, Wayne, because I'm going to do this heat, and then we'll get to that as well. Okay? All right, let's get her back in here. Then we'll turn that off. Looks like we got a bell ring. Okay, Wayne has a friend, Kirby, and his dad. Didn't catch the name there, who passed away. So Kirby's dad passed away. That's Wayne's friend, Wayne Heights' friend. So we're going to have a bell ring for Kirby's dad, a friend of Wayne's, and we'll go from there. All right. You know, what a blessing to be able to do that as a community group of people who kind of, a lot of us have never met, but it's an absolute blessing to be able to do that and use this platform to do that. So, man, fantastic. Fantastic. And I just love the fact you guys are all jumping right in there. Have a moxie? I probably should. I probably should have a moxie. And I'll probably be coming over to the vise. Unfortunately, you guys probably won't be able to see me there, because the top of this isn't exactly square. That's okay. We'll do that one more time. Do a little hot rasping. You guys know I like the hot rasp. No, you won't get to see my vise. At least not that one. You may see another vise. I don't have any Ale-8 or anything around, so it's in the fridge. Oh, they both passed away 3 weeks. Oh, last week, 3 days apart. Wow. Adam, Ozzy. So just finished work, driving home, so watching and listening, but can't chat. That's okay. That's okay. You guys are driving on the wrong side of the road, so I want you to really pay attention to what you're doing. I don't want any distractions. You know what? Let's do that one more time. Good and hot. And go get another rasp. That one might be good. See if I've missed anything. Time for a drumstick. I'd have a stick. Oh, the file noise. Not too bad because it's hot rasping, so not too bad. And I think I saw, who did I see come in here? Shoot, was it Roger Caldwell? Did I see a Roger Caldwell come in here? Hope your trip went well. If that's you, Roger. The progress on the other two shops is kind of on pause for a minute, so we'll be getting you some info on that, some situations there. Really looking forward to that being done for sure, because I'm looking forward to working in there. I think this might do it. Yep, that will do. That'll do, pig. All right, we'll find that struck end again. Back to you guys. Commercial for a bird feeder, is that what just came up? I saw that, John. That thing was amazing. That thing is gorgeous, brother. Yeah, you guys go check out Brittinghammer Forge. Makes some amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. See if I'm missing anything in the chat. Dana Maggiore, hey buddy. All right. Oh yeah, it is very tempting to not drink the maple syrup. 22 years without being killed by MLWJ. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. There's where some prayers should go. All right, let's refine that a little bit. All right. So I'm going to find one of these flats, try to match it up in plane, and draw that down. In fact, they will do that right there. Okay, so I'll be able to put it back in the fire. Should be able to come back to that. Get that struck end done, and then we'll work that plane all the way down to the slot punch. Yeah, spring steel. This is tough. It is train car coil steel, the third rim out. So just before you get to the outside coil. It is tough stuff. Mr. Ben Tunes. My goodness. Sending your hammerheads out Saturday, Kenny. Good for you guys, man. I love that. Love the fact you guys are doing that. Yeah, it is tough stuff. Hope you guys are getting ready for Quad State coming up in September. Hope to see as many of you as possible. If you're not doing that, you can already have on your calendar 4/25/25. That is the gathering right here, 4/25/25. And I'm really, really hoping this is the biggest one. We're excited about that possibility. Okay, like that, like that. Okay, so we'll flip that around, and we'll start working that same edge, same plane, down to the slot punch. Last week in September instead of the third week in September. Okay, yeah. Man, that's going to be like straight craziness for us, if I remember correctly, because it's like Quad State the last week in September. If I'm not mistaken, the first weekend in September is Canal Days at Metamora, and then we just booked to go to a chuck wagon festival to demonstrate and sell there in Indiana as well. So basically, we'll take our stuff from Metamora straight to the chuck wagon thing, and I think it's like Milan, Indiana. We'll go right from one to one, and then hopefully be able to come home and rest for a little bit. But we'll see. It's going to be a good fall. But we won't be fighting heavy into harvest. I may at that point be ready to start working for our friends. I'll probably be driving truck or doing some tractor work for them. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Somebody else's equipment, somebody else's expense. But we'll see. And I'll keep you guys up to date on what's happening here on the farm and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, chuck wagon, man. It's going to be so much fun. I'm excited about it. The guy contacted me. He said, would you be interested? I was like, oh, yeah. Yes, I would. All right, I think we got that plane the same. Yeah. So since we got that done, now I'm going to start putting the taper for the slot punch. Yeah, I would love to meet Kent Rollins. Good guy, good godly man. Man, I watched his video on saying goodbye to his little beagle. That was tough. That was tough. You know, something about a dog. You know, something about your good buddy, your kind of right hand mate, so to speak. Made a skillet to hang on the wagon. Make a skillet to hang on the wagon. Oh yeah, he's already got a couple ideas for me to make for his chuck wagon and for some other things. So, like I said, I'm excited about it. There was a couple things he wanted me to make, and I was like, those are my favorite things to make. So, I think it's going to be fun. All right. So, all right. Now, let's change that pitch. We'll clean up, keep everything in line, and in the fire. See what else is going on. Yeah, the beak, man, that was tough. You can see me? Creepy. Benny, you gonna be able to make it out either for Quad State or for the gathering next year? We would love to have you here for the gathering. All right, we are getting there. Just a matter of shape and shape and shape. Ben says, I hope I can make Quad State at least. Well, we will see you then if you do that. Otherwise, save up to come back to Ohio April 25th, 25. I need to put my pants back on. Well, I'm not out in the sun. Or are you just scared of my white legs? Let's see what we got here. All right. All right, we are getting close to the shape we need. So I'm going to keep working that down a little bit more. Then we'll refine it, take a look at it. On the white legs, yep. I'll tell you what, after seeing the stuff from Urbana, I I would really love to go to Urbana. Oh, that's cool, John. Really cool. Yeah, I would really love to go to Urbana next year. And I may have the time to do it, so. I'm not disliking that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, heat that tip up just a little bit. Get the old hot rasp out one more time. Hot rasp that end. Try to get it as flat as possible. That is true. Akron is a hop, skip, and a jump. The jump is the big one. The hop and skip, no big deal. We're actually closer to Troy, but you are always welcome at Bar Run Forge. Okay, kind of liking the looks of that. Heat that back up a little bit. Yeah, probably 3 hours or so, something like that. I'm paying for all of us to go to Quad State. Yep, you show up and I'll take care of everything. Wink, wink. Next time you head to Troy, you'll look me up. Well, we are an hour and a half away from Troy. We're about 3 hours away from Akron. So I'm not disliking it. It's a good Hallmark card, right? Yeah. All right, let's heat that up. I'm actually going to try to go to the upsetting block and do a little bit of upsetting. Still investigating, huh? Yeah, I can help you out with that if you want, but I think you've got it figured out. Put that anywhere, as Bill Corey would say. That looks like a slot punch. Yeah, it does. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We'll take a look at that bird. And we're probably going to go at the other end. No. I'm going to put it in the Holdfast. The brand new Holdfast for Greta works like a charm. And I'm going to, yeah, she works great. I'm going to get the old flatter out. Do some flattening on it. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Now we'll twist it around. Do some flattening work on that end. Yeah, I may have to do a little fine tuning, but man, that thing's stout. To be fair, to be fair, to be fair, to be fair, to be fair. Probably meeting with some sports teams with his coworkers again. Yes, likely. Eli is probably doing that right now. Nah, he's hobnobbing with the bigwigs. Squared hole. Let's see. Made a hole fast out of coil spring. It was a fail. Too springy. I guess there's not enough hook. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some things I might change about this. One of the things being that the pad, I may actually tip it down a little bit because right now it sits really flat. So I may actually heat it up and tip it down just a little bit. And I've let it completely cool, kind of air cool. So it's got as much spring in it as it possibly can. And generally, you know, when you hit here, it tightens it down. But this one, you hit right on top and it's in. I mean, just that one little tap right there. So it's just finding that right spot on it, and it'll nail it down. But again, that's out of the same coil spring. All right. See if we can't get that to go well. Yeah, it works real good. Okay. Like it. Like it a lot. All right. Put that away. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, put that back in there. We're actually going to touch mark it. With the Bar Run Forge touch mark. Over at, not the treadle hammer, but our treadle hammer. Because we all know where the treadle hammer is. It's in Connecticut. We made ours out of coil spring. Out of from a railroad car. Okay, touch mark. Bada bing, bada boom. Now there's obviously two schools of thought on heat treating a tool like this. One school says don't heat treat it at all. It's going to get hot again, which means it'll lose its temper. And you don't want to lose your temper. The other school of thought says treat it, retreat it. You can always come back to it. Okay. My thought is mixed as well. Because, especially a tool like this, is going to be in hot work. I mean, you're not going to do cold work with this slot punch. Excuse me. So, I'm going to treat it just for everybody's funsies. And I'm going to treat it in oil. But I'm only going to treat the working end. What time is it? 7:21. We're really going great. Mr. Matthew at 00 Negative, how are you, my brother? What did I miss? Just how big is the radius of bend on the holdfast supposed to be? That is a good question. That's a very good question. Again, mine may be too tight of a radius, but at the same time, you can do an upset corner or a square cornered one, and there's basically little to no radius. It's a very tight radius. So I think you do it for whichever one works for you. All right, since this was already hot, smells like French fries in here. All right. I don't want to cool it all the way down because I do want some heat to come back for the temper. So we'll go over here, we'll turn the heat off. Take the old then we'll just turn it around. Keep that back end up. Try to see if we can get some colors to move. In a soaking heat. So let's read here. Do you mean French fried potatoes? We shanked 4 to 6 inches up. Trying to be good. People are saying they get mad when it jumps out of. Oh boy. You mean French fried potato? Yes, French fried potatoes, definitely. Grades are less important than diameter of stock to Pritchell ratio. That's true. It's got to wedge in the pritchel. That's the thing. It's not so much about that radius as it is it has to bind up in the pritchel. Depth of the hole. Made that one just so it comes out about that much below the pritchel hole. So that's that. And again, don't be afraid, okay, that didn't work. So I'm going to put it back in the fire. I'm going to open that radius up. If that doesn't work, then I'll tighten it down or open it up more. You know, again, as long as it wedges itself in the pritchel, you're good to go. I mean, often if you don't get correct diameter in the pritchel hole, it's going to be sloppy around it, and it's just not going to work. Okay, so we got some heat. I'm going to watch. I've got some water here, still sizzling. Okay. Okay, so there is heat in there. All right, looks like we got some colors moving. And we're going to finish it off. Final cooling in the big slack tub. It's starting to get stinky again. Perfect. Yeah, not quite. All right, got quiet all of a sudden. Here we go. 2-inch bar is far different than 1/8. That's for sure. Matt's pretty happy right now. If your pritchel's 3/4 inch, then the hold fast stock should be how much smaller? Not much. I mean, the idea is that it just goes in enough to wedge itself in. If you don't want it too loose, you know, if you got smaller pritchels, that's a different story. You can get away with a little bit different diameter there because it will wedge itself. But when you get in these bigger ones, you're going to have a pretty good look. I'm not unhappy with that. So if you guys will hold your ears for a second. I know it seems silly to put it in oil. Hold your ears. We'll have Eli here to chastise me. Last couple moves here. One more turn. And there we have one 99% finished slot punch. So we do. All right, here we go. Adam says your pitch is 3/4 should be 3 to 7/16. Okay. I've got a 1 second delay. I don't know. Eighth inch gap is what you're talking about. Is that what you guys were talking about? There you go. Okay, an 1/8 or 1/16 of gap. I think that's what you're talking about. All right, so there is our slot punch. 90-something% finished up. I'll work on the struck end a little bit, polish that or clean that up. The working end is pretty much where it needs to be. Tempered, all that kind of fun stuff. Index is in the hand, right over top of that. So, yep, I mean, it's working slot punch. That's what that is. So I'm pretty happy with that. There you go. All right, so we're having a little conversations about holdfasts, and I want to have that discussion a little bit, especially if somebody has better information than I'm offering. You know, my tools put away, put my toys away. So there was a conversation about this radius right here, and if that was ultra important on that goes. He said gap. This radius here. So as that radius extends, you know, that's more that has to flex, so to speak. That'd be in my case what I'm talking about. But if you put a hard or an upset 90 right here, you make that swoop, and that radius doesn't matter. So from my perspective, the idea that this is like right there, I see maybe a 1/16 of an inch in that hole, and then it drops and goes to the back of the hole, and the bottom goes to the front of the hole. And so the idea is that it wedges itself back corner to front corner, and that forces that piece to stay in there, to stay put. Now, the thing I was talking about is this pad. If this pad were down a little bit, when it makes contact there, if it were making contact here, then when I put that spring on, then this pad can flex and get a whole lot of tension down on that. To that end, we're going to do a test. So what I found out, I just hold on it like this, and I can see, you could probably see that flex out that way. So that pad flexed out that way, but the tip of the pad came up just a little bit. So that's why I think if I heat this back up and put that pad down just a little bit, and again, this is a big chunk of steel, but if that pad can flex as well, that puts more spring into things. Now, granted, it took a lot of effort, and I just made it tighter, okay? Because that actually flexed even more with that. So that's tight. Let me tell you, yeah. And then just as simple as taking that tension off that way. So basically, taking the tension off forces that back to the front. I don't think this radius is the critical part of that. I think your diameter in the Pritchell and your pad contact point has to be just right. Now, granted, I don't know that you'd want to do a super tight radius right here or some big floppy radius as well. I think it really does depend. So everybody's chiming in here. 8th gap, 16th. Okay. Narrowest point. So 3/4, 5/8, 11, 16 stock. Let's see, 3/4 hole, 11/16 to 5/8. Okay. Thinner stock if you have a deeper pritchel. Makes sense? Serious question. Weighted chain compared to holdfast. And I have seen both. I think convenience, if you're working quick and multiple things. For example, just watch Hans when he was doing his feathers. And he would use a weighted chain. And the reason for that is he would go and go and go and go and then have to move the piece. And so he could basically just lift the chain up, slide the piece over and drop it down, as opposed to grabbing the hammer, knocking it out, repositioning, doing that kind of stuff. Now, was it as secure? I don't think there's any way. I don't think you can secure the way I just secured that punch. I don't think you can secure it that tightly with a weighted chain. I just don't. Now, I've seen the guys that have the weighted chains where they can set them off or back over, or leave them in this. I think it works fine for certain applications. I just think the hold fast comes right out, sits right there. You can grab it, put it on there. And I'm going to somewhat agree with Bill on this. Now, it quite beats a tong clip and a third hand. And the tong clip in the third hand is great as long as you can get that parallel with the face of the anvil. In hindsight, for example, if I've got this, we'll use this again, and even if I had a tong clip, if I put that up in here and I'm not completely parallel with that, this thing is going to tip up. So it is very important that you get your anvil height right, or you up on a block, or get some way to figure out to be parallel with the surface of the anvil. Because if you're not, I mean, like right here, it's wanting to tip up because my third hand height is not exactly the height of my anvil face. So I think that's important as well. If you've got it dialed in, I agree. Third hand is quickest, easiest. You can manipulate it, move it around. Very, very helpful to have the third hand and the tong clip. That's my take. Again, that's just me. Yeah, make sure you got a good stainless steel tong clip. So anywho, again, that's my take on holding items at the anvil. Yeah, if it's not right, you can end up with stuff flying. You can end up hurting yourself. Oh boy, Matthew. So anyway, that for holding stuff at the anvil, in all honesty, that's if you're by yourself. That's my opinion. If you're by yourself, the third hand is great as long as you have a good height parallel to the anvil. If not, you run into trouble. The chain is good if you're moving stuff on a repetitive basis. I think the hold fast, if you're by yourself, is the most secure. The most secure, as far as I'm concerned, is a helper. To me, that's the best option, is to have a helper. Because they can move the material, they can hold the material, they can rotate the material, and you're able to use top tools and things like that. There you go. That's my take on it. Bill says, I forged a set of box jaw tongs specifically to hold 3/8 square bars so that I can punch holes. Fantastic. Fantastic. If you can get box jaw tongs down, and like a whole set of them, you get your 3/8, you get your half, you know, all the ones you're going to need, and then you make the ones for flat stock and all that kind of fun stuff. Once you get that, I think that's gold. And I think box jaw tongs are fantastic if you're going to be doing work third hand. That's my take on it again. So, anywho, there it is. Big old slot punch. And I think that'll do a great job for joinery work. And like I said, I'll probably do a little bit of refining with a file, both on the head and on the working end. So, but other than that, it's going in the toolbox. I think it's going to be good. About duct tape. Well, sure. Maybe if you have enough duct tape wrapped around a spring steel holdfast, duct tape will work. Shoot. All right, well, it is 7:40. As I said, I didn't want to go too crazy long tonight. Wolf jaw are my favorite. I like wolf jaw tongs too. All right, Daniel, it was us. It was us. You want them. You want them. They're yours. Anywho, anything else? Eli's not here to keep the banner rolling, and like I said, I've kind of been working here, trying to stay cool. Hot outside. Very good. Wolf jaws are good. When I first started, I probably used my wolf jaws as much as any, and I probably use bolt jaw more than anything right now. I use bolt jaw, and actually for my flat stock, I use either Andrew Larson's flat jaw tongs, or they're kind of farrier's tongs, but they have a big wide surface on them, so I like that. So I probably use these for flat as much as anything, and then these for flat. And then I probably go to the bolt jaw tongs a lot. I need to do better on slot jaw and box jaw. That's the big thing. I need to do better on the slot jaw and box jaw. Yeah, people have bought these things, believe it or not. People do actually buy tongs. I don't know. I don't know. They actually do it. Kind of crazy. Hey, there's Monica from Blaine's Promised Land Ranch. Just in time for us to say we're done and we're about ready to go. Flat jaws aggravate. Yes, flat jaws are aggravating because of that slippage. When you're turning that up on edge, and if you've got flat jaw tongs and you hit it, bink, it comes up. That's where that box jaw that Bill was talking about is so important and so useful. Did that get a twist? No, it ain't got a twist. I just got a lump on there. All right, I can fix that. Anywho, yeah, that's there's hardly anything more frustrating than you got flat stock. You work the flat and you put it up on the edge and it goes ding, stands up or crawls out of your flat jaws. Hate that. So box jaw. The downside to that is, for box jaws to be very effective, you have to have a multiple of box jaws. Like you should have a whole rack of box jaw tongs. So, you know, for square, not so much for square, but if you're using rectangle, you know, with a different thickness, there again, if you've got a thick, you know, say 1/2 inch by 2 inch, man, that's a tough one. You're going to have to almost have box jaws for that. And then you get the thin stock. You can't do the same box jaw tong that you're using for 3/8 as you are for 1/8. It's just not going to be the same grab. What's the largest tongs I've ever made? This may be them. Well, we made a pair of hammer tongs that were bigger, but that's probably the biggest ones I made from scratch and everything. Yeah, those are probably the biggest ones I've made from scratch. And they were fun. I enjoyed making them. I think that's the biggest ones we've made. Yeah. Although these box gel tongs are pretty decent size. Oh, then I don't know. Let's take a look. Lengthwise, those pickup tongs are probably bigger. Yeah. So the pickup tongs. And I got a set of hammer tongs, and I made a great big set of hammer tongs, and it was just way too big, and I broke them. So yeah, tongs. That's I am definitely not the tong guy. If you want to talk about tongs, you talk to Mr. Bill Corey. It's phenomenal. It's great to watch, and it really, Bill will probably tell you this. It really comes down to you just got to do them, and you got to do lots of them, and you got to screw them up, and you got to know why you screwed them up. For me, that's the key. Is just figuring out why. Bolt drives are better for box or for square. Box is better for flat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the hardest part is when you get that kind of rectangle. Well, look, coming in here.
You know the bad thing about tongs?
Yeah.
I heard people buy those things.
Buy those things. Kenny says, my flat bar tongs are the ones with slots cut into them, the thickness of the stock. Yes. So for flat stock, slot jaw tongs may be the go-to on that.
I heard people buy those things.
Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Welcome in.
Hey. I heard you're about to quit.
I am about to fixing to quit.
I heard you was fixing to quit, and I figured I'd come in and say hi. Hi.
Bill's fun to watch, especially when he's using dirty coal. Good Lord. Give the man good coal.
Oh, yeah.
Give the man good coal. He's in a much better mood when he's got good coal.
True.
So anywho, hi Eli.
Hi, Eli.
How was your hobnobbing?
What?
Your hobnobbing with the bigwigs. Yeah, wasn't that? No. Okay. Was it anything with the bigwigs?
Not really.
No? Okay. Did you have a good meal?
Not really.
Knife maker's slot jaws. Yeah. And those are very handy too. I think you can get a cup slot jaws.
Yeah.
I think you can get kind of more variable. As long as the thicknesses are similar in the stock, then you can go a little bit wider, a little bit thinner. So yeah, if you had slot jaw tongs, you could probably get away with not having box jaws for everything.
My bread is looking good.
Your bread?
Yeah.
Beard.
Working on my
Your red bread. So
gingerbread.
Ginger beard. So I was in the doctor's office. We were talking about that. I was in the doctor's office yesterday.
Yeah.
And the doctor was looking at my incision for my loop recorder that is actually trying to come out of my body. And she said two things. She said that is not surprising because the red-bearded, red-headed, their bodies like to reject other things.
I reject women.
You sure?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Sure, it's not the
Women reject. That's
the other way around. There. Oh boy, bless your heart. But yeah, so first of all, she said foreign bodies, the red-headeds, the red-beardeds don't like that. They actually push them out through the skin. Second thing is she totally said, "Yep, I get it. You felt it all. The lidocaine, the general anesthetic, or the local anesthetic does not work quite often." She said they see it a lot in redheads, and that it just some painkillers and anesthesiology does not work sometimes.
Pain tolerance, alcohol tolerance, drug tolerance, all associated with the MC1R gene,
That's
also
right.
known causes pale skin, red hair.
There you go.
Go.
So yeah, she said on a regular basis they triple up
Oh, yeah.
Anesthesiology on red-bearded, red-headed.
They've had to give me a small dose of horse tranquilizer instead of morphine before.
Yep. So that's the fun.
Buddy.
So chances are the old loop recorder monitor is going to come on out of the body. So but that's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Redheads hate foreign bodies. Now don't get it twisted, all right? Good stuff. Bless your heart. Horse tranquilizer, yes.
Horse trank, yes, sir.
Yes.
Romping. Sure.
The issue with that is after they give it to you, you just have a tendency to.
I just kept it.
I think that might have been the anesthesia.
Probably had a little whinny to me.
How to anesthetize a redhead, a red brick.
Red brick.
Yeah. Red on the noodle. Oh my goodness. Hey, I know them both, Matt, about the bless your heart. Bless your heart does have a double meaning.
Bless y'all hearts.
And in some places, bless your heart will get you in trouble.
That's true.
Us redhead reject pain as well. That is very true. Yep. And I don't think it's because we don't have a soul.
No, sir.
I don't think that's it. I think it's just nerve. I think it's just nerves. So Bugs Bunny is. There you go. All right, and there's Eric. Whoa.
Dusty.
Yeah, a little dusty there. All right. Nice, you say me. With a good wind up. There you go. Thick skull. Man, you talk about thick skull. Eli will attest.
Both of us are thick and skulled.
This one here, it is.
We bounce off.
It may not be
rocks,
thick, but
I believe it's thick.
It's stout, at least.
I believe we were blessed with thick skulls. We've bounced rocks and cowed mandibles right off the dome.
Yep.
Kept on swinging.
Yep.
In case you don't know what a mandible is, that's a jawbone.
Yeah, that's right.
Off a cow is about that big, about that long, and thick.
Uh-huh.
They're
and from about that high here. Tougher than a pine knot. That's true. And we got some of those right back here. We got some pine knots. We do indeed. It's not hard-headed at all. I just don't listen. Nice. All right. It is just shy of 8 o'clock now. So we have jabbered on for another almost 20 minutes now that Eli showed up.
That's me.
There you go. So anywho, anything else for the good of the order there? Orang Pendek.
What?
Orang Pendek. Does anybody know what that is? Orang Pendek.
Have anything to do with primates?
What's that?
Primates?
Sort of, yeah. So I think, maybe somebody will jump in and say what it is. What did the buffalo say when he left? Oh, bye, son.
Ow.
Well, there it is. It's a witch. So, Orang Pendek is basically the Southeast Asian version of Sasquatch.
All right.
So it's kind of like a tall orangutan. What we see in our house quite often. We had some discussion yesterday about cryptozoology.
Ooh.
And Orang Pendek came up, and I said, we got one in our house. A cryptid from Asia. Yep. So there you go. Yeah, we have
Indonesian Yeti.
Indonesian Yeti. There you go.
Skunk ape. I believe around here the local folklore is the grass man.
Grass man. That's right.
Grass man is our chupacabra.
There you go. So what's their name for a chupacabra? You'll see everybody has Orang Pendek. There you go. So everybody has their own name for it in different regions. And Chupacabra is one. Yeti, Sasquatch, Grassman.
Our local folklore.
Yeah.
Ginger Yeti. There's a brand right there.
Yeah, the Ginger Yeti. Okay. With that being said,
the Ginger Yeti wishes you all a wonderful night.
That's right. That's right. And so does the smaller Ginger Yeti. The compact Ginger. What would you call that? Like in dogs, they have like
it's like
miniature.
It's like iPhone 12 and 12 Max.
Not quite. Oh, Mothman. That's right.
Mothman
down there in like Marietta and right around where is it? Shoot, Parkersburg.
It's in West Virginia.
Yes, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Mothman. That's right. Okay. We're gonna get out of here before we get too deep into cryptozoology.
Ooh.
That's right. You get it all. I mean, we have prayer twice.
Yeah.
We got a bell ring. We made a tool. We talked about We talked about tongs. We talked about cryptozoology. And chupacabra. And orang pendek. Just fun. Point Pleasant. That's right. Okay. All right. We're going to get out of here. Yeah. All right. God bless you guys. We will see you likely next Thursday.
Yeah.
And then chances are for the following 2 weeks, it will be either just Eli or I'll be where Eli sits.
Well, not 2 weeks. 1 week, I'll be at camp.
You're going to church camp.
Probably get a chat stream.
Yeah, that may be a good time for a sit and chat.
Yeah.
We'll do
That's
that.
a little thing we had around as a kid.
It's sit and spin. That's close. That's close.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about food.
Oh.
Didn't we? Anyway. God bless you guys.
Go and check out the website.
What's for dinner? Fried chicken. There you go.
Having fried chicken?
Yep, homegrown fried chicken. Okay, God bless. We'll see you on the next one.
Go and
Bye.
Go and get.